tell me about your boobs, ladies.
Yeah,
well,
you know,
they're real.
They're real.
He's really recording.
Okay. All right, we are here at the Caribbean Film Festival covering the premiere of Mus Come, and we are here with two lovely familiar faces. Now, which one's Sonia and which one's Sonia? Sonia?
Sonia, twin B.
Why are you twin B?
I came out second, so they say.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
all right, so ladies, now you are covering this event as well.
Yes, we are.
And you can split and cover 2 stars at once.
That's the benefit, exactly. We'll see 2 people say, Sonia, go there. Sonia, there. We're good to go. 2 for 1.
Yep.
All right, so we should give you guys your own show, and you can, but it's just one show between the 2 of you. It'd be like Mary Kate and Ashley. They only have one role.
You, the expert. We'll leave it to you. Yeah. You're good. You're good. Yeah.
I wish I could be the 3rd twin, and then we could cover 3 people at once.
You're a triplet.
I'm your triplet?
Yes.
That's great. All right, so what are we doing later tonight then? If
another event. Yeah.
We do? What are you covering?
50th. Birthday event.
Milestone birthday.
Wow, I feel so inadequate right now.
What close to 40?
Exactly. What are you doing?
What am I doing tonight? I think I'm going to go to a movie.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, yeah.
After this movie, which will be awesome. Hey, how are you?
Nice to meet you in person.
Nice to meet you in person, yeah. Do you want to be interviewed right now, Storm? Over there? Okay.
And she's back.
All right, I'm back.
And she's looking again.
All right, ladies. So, what do you think of this film? What have you heard about it?
Well, we haven't. Right. Yeah, we saw the trailer, and honestly, before seeing the trailer, we didn't know what it was about. When we read we saw the trailer and read what it's about, we were like, we have to be here to support. Yes. So, yeah.
It's a very important milestone for the community.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for being on the show again. See if we can get some people involved in the film. But good luck taking double the amount of pictures.
You got it. Yes, we will.
I think you guys will be top coverage.
Sounds good.
All right, great. You too. Bye. All right, so we are here at the film premiere of Mus Come, and we are here with Sheldon Sheperd. Now, you are the star of this film.
Yes, I am.
How's that feel?
Feels beautiful, man.
All right, well, tell me a little bit about your role in the film.
I play the character Ricky, you know, and gang leader. It's a political love story, so to speak, you know, and my character, a complex kind of person, you know.
Complex
so
character.
I think you'll have to watch him to understand.
Oh, well, I will definitely watch it. But how does it feel being able to really take a stand in history and make a film to reach out and remind people about all these voices that have been silenced?
How does it feel?
Yeah. I mean, isn't this the role every actor dreams of?
Well, pretty much, you know, it's a timepiece. It's actual events, you know. So it's a beautiful script, beautiful role, you know. So I'm supposed to be, you know, bouncing off the walls, you know. Supposed to be, you know, and I'm a bit jittery as well because it's the first time I'm seeing it after all the fancy work has been done to it, you know. So it's the first time seeing it with everybody else, you know. So I'm curious. I want to see how the work reflects, you know.
Well, I'm sure it will go very well. So tell me, what's next for you in your career? I mean, you have this big movie premiere, but you must be working on other things.
Yeah, man. I'm the leader of a band.
You're the leader of a band. Tell me about your band.
My band is called Nomads. We play, yeah, man. We play a thing called bongo music. It's a brand new genre, brand new art form, and it's like 4 lead vocals and 4 musicians. And when we play for like we play for like, you know, crazy.
What about acting wise? Do you have anything in the works?
Yeah, man. We have a few films, scripts reading. You know, we're picking, we're working. You know.
So nothing you can talk about yet.
Nothing I can talk about yet. So no paperwork, no sign.
Well, I won't tell anybody though.
Why? All right. Well, I'll tell you after.
After, okay. All right. So tell me, what was your favorite part about making this movie?
The interaction with the community.
Yes.
You know, in this film, what we did was in Jamaica, we rented an entire community for the duration of the film, and we got the actual residents of that community to play key parts, key roles in this film.
That's amazing to give back to the community that way, as well as making a story about their people.
Precisely, you know. So it's a beautiful vibe, you know, and I feel really, really warm when I talk about that aspect of it, you know, because we form relationships with the regular ones and we live there because we never lived there, you know, and it's a little garrison community within the uptown community, so it's smack in the middle of all the fanciness, but it's nothing close to fancy. It's a beautiful place, man, art, you know.
Well, it's amazing that you got that experience. So best of luck down there. I'm sure everyone will keep their tomatoes in the bag and give you a standing ovation.
Give thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us on REMIC TV. It was Sheldon Sheperd, the star of the film, and we'll be right back. All right, so welcome back to REMIC TV. We are here with Dwayne Morgan. Now, you are hosting this entire event.
Yes, I am.
That is quite a feat. So take us through the day. What's going to happen today?
All right, well, we have the gala that's going to happen first, where we're going to give away a couple of awards. And after that, we're going to have everybody go up to the theater, where we're going to meet with the director of the film, Mus Come. And then after that, we're all going to get the opportunity to see the film and check it out and hopefully have some good discussions afterwards.
Now, what have you heard about this film? Good things, bad things?
I've only heard good things about the film. I'm quite excited to get the opportunity to finally see it. I know it's been, you know, I have a lot of people down in Jamaica who are familiar with the film and have seen the film, so they've all said very good things. So I'm just looking forward to having my opportunity to get to see it and you know, create my own opinion on what I see.
Now, do you think it's going to have a positive effect on the community sharing this story, or perhaps some things have not been portrayed historically accurate? It might have a negative effect.
Well, I mean, I think I don't think it would have a negative effect. I think anytime you put something forward, whether it's accurate or not, as long as there's a discussion that comes with it, then I think that it's positive. You know what I mean? Because the discussion to say that isn't accurate is also positive. You know what I mean? So I think anytime you put something out there and it gives people an opportunity to actually engage and discuss, then that becomes extremely important.
Now, all press is good press, right?
Ultimately, yeah. I mean, you might have to spin it a little bit depending on what it is, but ultimately, all press is good press.
Now, tell me about these award winners. I mean, you're hosting that too. We have some great honors being given out today. Tell me about that.
Well, I am responsible for giving out the award to Denham Jolly, who is a huge influence and has had a great history in terms of his presence in the media in this country, from the Contrast newspaper that he started, from spearheading Flow 93.5, the radio station, and it's just, you know, a great honor to be able to give this award to him and to, you know, just to recognize what he has meant to the cultural fabric of this country.
He won't give us an interview, though.
Well, you know, he's a very reserved man, and you know, he's gotten to that point where you kind of just have to respect that, I guess, you know what I mean? So you got to get as many people to talk about him, so it kind of seems like you did talk to him, you know what I mean?
It's almost as good. Now, what about Ian?
Ian, I'm not that familiar with, because I know Motion is doing his award, so she has all of the information on Ian. But I believe also that he has had a great impact on the cultural fabric, especially I believe with the Trinidadian culture. And I think, you know, it's always good that we recognize the pioneers, the people who have, you know, created the path that we all have the opportunity to travel. So anytime you get to be in the presence of people who have actually, you know, put themselves out there and done great things, it's always very inspiring for me as somebody who's, you know, a generation down, to be able to see something that I can aspire to.
Well, it sounds like we're in for a great double hitter with the film and the awards. So thank you for joining us, and good luck hosting.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we are sitting here with Storm, the director of the film. Now, the last time we saw Storm, he was chilling in Jamaica, beautiful t-shirt. You were talking about the goats outside your window, but now you're here. Welcome. So tell me, this film, why did you choose to do it on this community? I mean, there's so many other causes in the world that need a voice. Why did you choose this one?
Well, Jamaican people need a voice, you know what I mean? We need a voice to tell our own stories from the inside out and from the bottom up, so not the government story or a foreigner's version of the story, the people's version of the story, and or just not even a version of the story, because it's not all, you know, we're making films, you know, so we're making creative things, so we're using taking creative license and so on, but you know, there's so many stories to tell that have only been barely touched on in our culture. So as a Jamaican, that's new to the world, so why not be one of the people telling this culture? And I'm very much about the Caribbean as well, not just Jamaica, but I'm a big supporter of Caribbean filmmaking.
Now, how much creative license did you take with this film? How accurate is it to the actual happenings?
everything in the film is inspired by real events. As in, I studied the real events, but I created a fictional character inspired by a real character and wove him through a series of events. So it's not, it's not a close-up documentary. It's completely creative license. But everything that happens in this film, just know that things that and worse than that happened in that time in our country. Yeah.
And what is the response you're getting, I mean, from the early shows from the families that were there during the events? Are they happy with the portrayal of it?
Yeah, a lot of the people that were around in that time are not even alive anymore. You know what I mean? But it was more, it was a big, in Jamaica when, I mean, look, the thing is, everybody keeps sticking on this Green Bay thing. It's not all about that. It's actually way more just about, it's about a single father who is a community leader, and he's just a day-to-day in his life in his community and his interactions with people, and he's someone who has an awakening in himself and sees the folly of his ways and is trying to change. But of course, he's a leader that people look to when they need him. So it's a human story, and the element of Green Bay is just a statement upon that human story. You understand what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what was, when making the film, was it more important to tell this character's story or to stay accurate or give your people a voice? I mean, what was your top priority when making it?
You have to tell a good story that gets the point across, you know what I mean, that it can entertain, you know. So yeah, you take whatever, many people are just inspired. You're inspired, you know the facts, you write some of the facts into the script. I wrote as many of the facts that I read about into the actual plot. So things that actually happened, I wrote as many in. And the ones I couldn't confirm, you know, I didn't try to. And we created fictional characters that were inspired by not just the people that ended up there, but just a young man in that time, in that community. You understand?
Absolutely. And have you had any negative feedback at all from Creative License?
No, not publicly as far as I know. Maybe privately, but honestly, everybody's been overwhelmingly positive, and it's very encouraging. And I definitely heard that there are definitely some people that are upset. I hear people on one side of the political thing saying it's propaganda for the other party, and then people in the opposite party saying it's propaganda for the other party, right?
So who is it propaganda for?
Propaganda for nobody. It is basically, in essence, showing the similarities of the two and the failure of that system. You know what I mean? And almost to push our try to push them to be a bit better, to try better. You know what I mean? Like, people are waking up. You know what I mean?
So it's propaganda for the everyday person.
Yeah, it's propaganda for the everyday person. I guess if you want to say who better to do propaganda for. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us once again on REMIC TV. We've been talking to Storm Saulter, the director of the film. So good luck down there. I'm sure it will be a standing ovation.
Well, yes, I hope so. I'm just happy that we're blessed to be showing in a place like this and to have this audience, you know.
All right. Well, congratulations and thank you again. All right, well, we are here at the film premiere, and we have Camille Dundas. Now, Camille, you put this whole event together.
Oh, not really, but I'm definitely coordinating the medium publicity to get as much attention to this event as possible. 404 Media Group is handling the press and publicity, and we're so excited to have all of you guys here to see this wonderful film, Better Mus Come, from Jamaica. It's so important for us to celebrate and promote and support our own films, to get more black stories on film in cinema. We do great work coming out of the Caribbean, and an event like this put on by Caribbean Tales Film Festival, Frances Ann Solomon, everyone knows her. She's doing so much great work in the community for filmmaking, and we're just so excited to have everyone here. It's a great event.
So you have seen the film?
You know what? I am very excited to see the film. Yeah. But Storm Saulter is doing great things in the Caribbean. He also has an organization called New Caribbean Cinema, and a lot of those films I've seen come out from there. So I know his work is outstanding, and I'm just so excited to see it and for everyone to see it. I just wait to be surprised with everyone else.
Now, can you tell me, I mean, there is a lot of work coming out of the Caribbean and out of Jamaica. Tell me what drew you specifically to this project and to these awards. What made you become involved?
Well, I mean, it's great to have a client giant on like Caribbean Tales Film Festival because we love to support things that are going on in our community. I'm born in Trinidad, raised in St. Lucia. My mom is Dominican. I'm a true all Caribbean woman. You know what I mean? So I mean, anytime we get a chance to promote and support our own, we jump at it. And especially when it's top quality, when we know the product is great, we want people to know about it. So that's why we're involved. Yeah. And
you have an award ceremony going on. On top of the film, you're honoring 2 of your own as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
Exactly. Well, Denham Jolly is getting an award. He is known most for being the founder of Canada's first black radio station, Flow 93 FM, and he has so many other ventures that he has done that people don't know about. He's done so much for our community that people don't know about that I hope somebody, or him at least, touches on, because he's just a great example of someone that young black people in the community can emulate, and I want them to be able to see that. Ian Harnarine, a Trinidadian filmmaker, who his film Doubles with Slight Pepper won Best Canadian Short at TIFF last year, which is a huge deal for a Canadian and a Caribbean story to be told and to win that award. I think is amazing. So he definitely deserves this award, and we're excited to see him accept.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. This is Camille Dundas, the brains behind the whole operation. And we are here at the Caribbean Film Festival at the TIFF Bell Lightbox with the premiere of Better Mus Come. All right, we are here at the premiere of Better Mus Come with Ian Harnarine. Now, you are being honored today. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
It must be a big honor to be here at the premiere, and you're being honored not only for your work, but also your film won at TIFF last year.
It did, yeah. It won amazingly the best short film, and then we just got nominated for a Genie Award too, which is, I mean,
for a Genie Award. That's great. Tell me about your film. Like, what was this brilliant film that won?
It's called Doubles with Slight Pepper.
Okay.
We shot it down in Trinidad. It's a father-son story about a man that returns to Trinidad after a couple of years of living in Toronto, and he essentially abandoned his family there. And it's about him coming back to Trinidad and trying to make amends for, with his family for what he's done for his past.
Now, is this a true story?
It's not, but it's somewhat based on it because my father got quite ill a couple years ago, and he had Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. And I'd go back and forth between Toronto and New York a lot. I live in New York right now, and because of Alzheimer's, it's like a slope downwards where it's just you're not coming back from.
Right.
And whenever I'd come back, I'd notice a drastic change in him. And towards the end, it was really apparent that I did not know who he was anymore. And so the film is really about discovering who your father is for the first time. And that's what it kind of was like. Even though I had a wonderful relationship with my dad, the father in the movie is nothing like my father, but it was that experience dealing with him and Alzheimer's that was the seed of the film, I guess.
And then it won at the Toronto International Film Festival and a Genie Award. So when is that coming up?
The Genie Awards are March 8th, so we're like almost a month away.
So you're counting down the days?
Yes. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to wear.
Maybe Gucci, Valentino.
I don't know if the budget has that, but to me it's either a suit or a tux, and we'll go from there. I don't know.
Flip a coin.
Exactly, yeah. All
right, well, tell me what's coming up for you. What are you working on right now? I mean, you're a great filmmaker. You have a lot of credits behind you. There must be something great coming up.
Well, I'm working literally right now on writing the feature-length version of the short, so I'm working on that. I'm also working on an adaptation of a book called Sukuyant, which is actually set in Toronto. It was a novel written by David Cheriandy. And then I also just wrote a script with Spike Lee that hopefully he's going to direct, hopefully in a couple of years. I mean, but that's up to him.
You wrote the script with Spike Lee?
Yeah, we wrote it with him. It's called Time Traveler.
Okay.
And it's an adaptation of it's a true story about a physicist at the University of Connecticut that's trying to build the world's first time machine.
Well, hopefully if you wrote it with him, he's going to direct it as well.
Yeah, I hope so. That's the plan. He wants to, so.
All right, well, best of luck today and congratulations as well. And hopefully we'll see you accepting your award at the Genies.
Yeah, I hope so. It's cliche and everybody says it, but it's just an honor to be nominated, you know?
All right, well, congratulations again. This is Ian Harnarine. We are here at the premiere of Better Mus Come, where Ian is being honored, one of 2 honorees, and we will be right back. Okay, so we are here in the buffet lunch before the premiere of Better Mus Come. Let's go talk to some people who are going to see the film. Excuse me, are you ladies excited to see the film?
Oh yes, we are quite excited actually. We're both from the Caribbean, so we're looking forward to seeing what kind of material is coming out from the Caribbean.
Did you come all the way from the Caribbean?
No, we are originally from the Caribbean, but I'm from Antigua and Barbuda, and my friend Shelly here is from Trinidad and Tobago.
So how did you hear about this?
Well, she actually invited me to the event because I think she's been to one before, so she told me about it, and she organized everything, so I can't claim to have much knowledge about it.
You guys have seen any other films by the Caribbean Film Tales?
From the Caribbean Tales Film Festival last year, yes. I'm actually Antigua and Barbuda's Consul General for Antigua here in Toronto. And last year we partnered with Caribbean Tales Film Festival to bring filmmakers up from Antigua. So it was a wonderful event then, and now that they're working with filmmakers from Jamaica and from Trinidad and Tobago, I had to come out and support them.
All right, well there's also some great food here.
Definitely. Caribbean food, Caribbean music, that's always a good thing.
All right, it sounds like a great party, so enjoy the food, enjoy the film.
Thank you.
Hello. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, who are you and where are you from?
I'm Jasmine from REMIC TV. Who are you and where are you from?
I'm from Toronto.
All right.
Leroy Cross.
All right, so why are you here? Did you just hear about the film? Or?
Oh, because I'm a good friend of Francis, and I'm also involved with the organization, somewhat.
Somewhat?
I'm a lawyer, so I talk to them now and then. Yeah.
And you've sorted all the legal issues out before the film?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Can you tell us about any of them?
Oh. Top secret.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll talk after then. Yeah. All right. Well, enjoy the film. Enjoy the film.
You too. Take care.
Hi guys. How are you doing?
Hi. Good.
How are you involved in the film? How did you hear about it?
We're Jamaicans. Well, I'm a Jamaican. That I now live in Canada, and I heard about it through the media, and I thought I had to come and support our people.
Absolutely. So have you heard a lot about the film? What do you think of it so far?
I think it's an extremely, it gives a really good background of Jamaican politics, which I think is very important. A lot of our young people really don't know what happened in the 70s, and I think preserving our history is so important and integral for young people. And it also builds around a lovely story that exposes what happened at that particular point in time, which I think is very historic, and it's good. And it's good storytelling as well, which is phenomenal. He's done a wonderful job.
All right, well, enjoy it. I mean, it sounds like you already are. And, have some food.
You too.
All right, so we are here at the premiere of Better Mus Come with a very special guest, Cameron Bailey, the co-director of TIFF. So thank you for doing our interview. So tell me, what do you think about this whole thing?
I'm just really glad everybody is here today. This is our building. This is our home. It's Black History Month. I worked with Carribean Tales and Francis and Solomon to bring this event to TIFF. So we're really happy to see such a great turnout.
Now, there's a lot of people who want to partner with TIFF. So tell me, why did this one win? Why is it so special?
I like what Caribbean Tales Worldwide is doing. You know, they're all about bringing the films from the Caribbean to the whole world. Francis and Solomon is somebody I've known for a very long time as a filmmaker, a distributor, somebody who's very active in this world. She's very passionate. I like the way that she operates, and we just thought they're a good partner for us.
Now, have you seen the film yet?
Of course, yes, yeah.
All right, so tell me, what do you think? What about this story that's not usually voiced?
Well, it's very dramatic, it's very powerful. It's a story that I think Jamaicans know very well because they lived through that history in the 1970s. Some of that is still going on today in terms of that clash between political parties that's played out in the streets of Kingston. And the filmmaker Storm Saulter has done a great job of bringing that history back to life and making it relevant for today.
Now, we also talked to Ian Harnarine, who's winning the award, and he won at your film festival a couple years ago.
Yeah, Ian is a great young filmmaker. We're really proud that he won one of our major awards, the Best Short Film, at our festival last year. So we're glad to see him being awarded again today.
Well, it sounds like he deserves it. So tell me, what's the future of TIFF? What's coming up in 2012?
Well, you know, every September we do a little party in town called the Toronto International Film Festival. We've got a lot of great people in town. We're doing it
Take over the city.
We try to take over the city.
You succeed.
Seems to happen, yeah.
And what's the future, though? I mean, do you have something really big coming up there?
You know, Maybe, but certainly can't reveal any kind of major plans that we have right now. But you know, what you can definitely expect is we're going to have another great festival in September. A lot of great people in town again. And now that we're planted in downtown Toronto on King Street, you can expect this building to be a hub of a lot of movie stuff.
Yeah, the Bell Lightbox, it did just open, and I take it it's doing fairly well?
Yep, it's doing very well. Great, different kinds of movies in every day. 5 cinemas working every day of the week, all year round. Exhibitions in the gallery, so lots to see here.
And most film festivals, they don't have their own building, so you're kind of a leader of the game there.
It takes a lot of work to build your own building, let me tell you that. It took us about 8 years to put this together, so we're really proud of it, and we're glad to see so many people coming through.
All right, well, thank you very much, and congratulations on all that's coming, and I won't take you away from the food, so go enjoy it. So we've been talking to Cameron Bailey, the co-director of TIFF, and we are here at the premiere of Better Mus Come. All right, so welcome back to REMIC TV. We are here with Denham Jolly, who is winning a great honor tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now, you have done a lot of work for the community here in Toronto. You founded Flow, the first black radio station in Toronto, and now, I mean, there's the Carribean Film Festival, all these filmmakers coming in from all parts of the Caribbean. How do you feel that it's finally getting showcased?
I feel very good that we have come such a long way. In fact, I started the Black Business and Professional Association and the Harry Jerome Awards also. But I feel good that and that was done with similar intentions of showcasing black people and their achievements. And I feel great that now we have an even greater, more extensive and immediate medium to showcase what our accomplishments are and what we've done to the broader community.
Absolutely. Now tell me about the radio station. How far has it come since you started it?
Well, you know, our success has somehow working against us because when we started there was no urban music, no outlet for urban music, there was no encouragement for urban musicians. Now everybody has taken it up and it's no longer such a unique thing. But that's a good thing that everybody's playing urban music, and also that we have introduced urban talent to all over Canada, from Vancouver to Calgary to Edmonton, Kitchener, Ottawa. We have people that we have trained at Flow 93.5 that are now actively participating on the air and in other areas in radio, program directors, sales, traffic, and so forth. So it's come a long way, and we're very happy that it has, and that we played a small part in it.
I think you played more than a small part. You're being modest there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Now, the film Better Mus Come is kind of a historical drama about the Green Bay massacre, but it's creative license. Do you think that that's something that should happen in a historical drama, or do you think Storm should have stuck to the exact facts?
Well, sometimes it takes a little bit of dramatization to bring attention to certain problems. And the problems of violence in that area is very much on the forefront for everyone. On both sides of the fence, you know, there's police violence too. But I think as long as you get people talking, that's the main thing. As long as you have a dialogue, then better must come.
And all press is good press. So what would you like to see for the future of, I guess, your radio station, for the film festival? Would you like to see it everything equal ground, or still kind of on the sideline?
Well, as you know, we sold the station to Chum, which is now Bell Media, but we hope that it will keep growing and giving opportunities to people from our community, and hope things will keep improving that way, and that more black people will participate in the media, either behind the checkbooks or in front of them.
All right, well, congratulations again on your award this afternoon, and I hope you enjoy the film.
Thank you very much, Jasmine.
Thank you. So we are here with Denham Jolly at the premiere of Better Mus Come. He's receiving a great award tonight, and onwards we go to the next one. Okay, so we are here with Nicole. Now, you've met this man a few times, have you?
Yes, we've met many times. Yeah, right. I'm quite fond of him.
All right, well, this is your father. So tell me, I mean, your father made such an impact on the black community, and growing up, what was that like?
Well, growing up, you know, he's your dad. So I think that you kind of notice noticed things a little bit from the sidelines. I mean, I was aware of what was happening, but when you're young, you don't really realize the extent of it until you get out in the world. I mean, I remember when he was starting the Harry Jerome Awards, and I'd be recruited to phone these athletes in their dorms, and I was like 10 or 11, and I was, you know, terrified to make those calls, but I did those. I knew that things were going on, but I don't think I really realized the extent of it at the time.
And Denham, how does it feel to like hear what an impact you've made on the future generation? I mean, this was your goal.
I feel very proud and fulfilled that she at least listened to 10% of what I had to say.
At least 10%.
At least 10%. Judging from her success at the London School of Economics and places of that nature.
Now, are you taking up your father's work?
Well, we worked together at the radio station for 10 years, and that was really wonderful. And, you know, in general, someone just asked me, how does it feel to have these giant footsteps and, you know, giant shoes to fill? And I kind of said, well, you don't try to fill them, you just try to do your own thing and blaze your own trail.
And what is your trail going to be?
Well, at the moment, I'm doing a lot of volunteer work, so I'm trying to help the community in that kind of micro level, and it's very fulfilling, and that's kind of exciting for me to do.
And what do you want for Nicole?
Well, I think what she's doing is good. You know, she's heading up the Arts for Children program in the city, which is, I think, is a wonderful endeavor, and things of that nature. She works every Saturday morning at Tropicana to teach children. I think with her knowledge and experience, it's a good thing, and there's a good role model.
And what do you want for the future generations? I mean, we've heard what your father wanted, and he achieved a lot of it, but what about you?
I think I would like the future generations to really not be afraid to achieve everything that they can achieve. You know, I think that too often we believe what we're told about ourselves when it's negative. We're good at listening to our own negative self-talk, so I think, you know, I think we all need to lift ourselves up, lift each other up, and, you know, believe in the dream and follow the dream.
Now, you were given such a gift in terms of your father trailblazing the way for the black community, and now your generation believes anything is possible, and of course it is.
Yes, and a lot of it is because of trailblazers like my dad and the others like him who kind of laid down the foundations and have made it a lot easier for us.
Well, it's great to have such a great dad, and congratulations again. We're here at the Carribean Tales, and we have the premiere of Better Mus Come, a family affair of Denham Jolly and his daughter Nicole. Be right back. All right, so here's a familiar face on REMIC TV, Francis Ann, finally.
Hi.
Now, you must be busy running around.
Yeah, but it's great. It's full. I'm very happy. Everybody came. They seem to be having a good time. That's wonderful.
Now, are things turning out the way you expected them to, or is it a bigger turnout?
It's a bigger turnout, yeah, so that's great. And now we're going to go down to the cinema for the award ceremony. Yeah, we're going to give...
Now, I've been talking to some people in line, and it turns out you've done a really great job. I mean, they're telling me they heard about this film and they just had to come, that it was such a voice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's what we need to do. I mean, just to give it a context, this is a first for TIFF in terms of, you know, having a community event. Inside, it's a great partnership that means that TIFF gets to benefit from having increased audiences from our community, and we get to benefit by having, you know, increased profile. And so, you know, it's very important that people come out and support the event, you know, and show, you know, places like TIFF that we can support film, you know.
Well, it certainly seems like that. And we talked to Cameron Bailey earlier. He seemed very happy to have you in town. So do you have any more partnerships coming up with the festival?
With TIFF
or other festival partnerships?
The next thing we have coming up is actually our Barbados Festival, which is in 2 months' time. We've got a press conference next week for that in Barbados, so I can't wait to be on the beach. Wow. Yeah! So, and then the next thing after that is we have our festival in New York, which this year we're going to do with Tribeca. And after that, we're back in Toronto for the festival that we have at Harbourfront, which runs alongside the Toronto International Film Festival. So I really want you to come to that.
Oh, that's a standing invite. Well, we will be there, and congratulations on all of this.
Coming.
No problem.
See you guys again.
All right, so Francis Ann Solomon, the real brains behind the whole operation, running it all, and we will be right back on REMIC TV.
We'd like to call up the person who is largely responsible for bringing this together today, Frances Ann Solomon of Carribean Tales. Put your hands together real loud for her.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be real brief for running behind, but I'd like to thank Cameron first and foremost. Cameron, can you stand up? Thank you. I want you to give a round of applause to Cameron Bailey. I've known Cameron since I don't know if it's his first, his last, but the one that I knew about, the initiative that he did, Planet Africa, which was bringing African and Afrocentric films into TIFF in 1995, and my film actually was one of the first that took part in that. And he has been steadfast and a trailblazer in terms of trying to make the connections between what I call the so-called mainstream and us who are part of the rest of the world. And so Cameron, thank you so much for your partnership and your support in doing this. I appreciate it so much. I was just talking to somebody from CTV. What I said was this, that we need to make partnerships. We can't do the things that we do on our own. We have to link with each other. And the secret to that I have found is that if you can support my dreams and I can figure out where your dreams are and support those, then we have a win-win. And obviously as human beings, we get in each other's way, we rub each other up the wrong way. But if we can figure out what you want and I want and give each other what we want, then the effect is not just doubled in terms of impact, it explodes and we will have success. And so I want to thank everybody, particularly actually 404 Media and Motion, Dwayne, and all the sponsors who came together to try to mobilize the community to come and support TIFF, to bring together a truly, what is the word? A wide audience, to bring us all together so that we can truly have the equality and the representation that we all aspire to. So everybody, thank you for being here, and Storm, your film is the centerpiece and better must come. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Frances Ann. Now moving towards our awards and recognition of those who have been really instrumental in film, media, and making a voice for us here in this country and beyond. First, we'd like to introduce Ian Harnarine. Ian Harnarine developed Doubles as an alumnus of the Carribean Tales Incubator Program in 2010. This intensive program that helps filmmakers to develop market-ready content also introduced the US-based filmmaker to potential partners around the region. Shortly afterwards, the film was shot with partial funding from the Trinidad and Tobago Film Company, starring Trinidadian actors Eros Sitahal, Sanjeev Budu, and Sudan Hanes Abraham. The son of Trinidadian immigrants, Ian grew up in Toronto and attended the York University, where he earned a BA in physics and astronomy. Yeah, that's right. He moved to Chicago for his master's degree in nuclear physics. Bored with his chosen profession, he settled in Brooklyn and became a filmmaker at NYU's Graduate Film School. He is currently on the faculty of NYU in both physics department and the film school. So it shows we could do everything. And we would like to congratulate him for his award for outstanding contribution to film, which will be presented by the Consulate General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Vidya Gian Tota Maharaj. Please bring her up with a warm applause.
Thank you very much. This is Frances Ann Solomon, Chief Executive Officer of Caribbean Tales Worldwide. Mr. Cameron Bailey, Co-Director of Toronto International Film Festival, Mr. Ian Harnarine, our special award guest, Mr. Christopher Laird, Chairman of Trinidad and Tobago Film Company, specially invited guests. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to be part of today's proceedings. And I would like to thank Caribbean Tales Worldwide and Toronto International Film Festival for organizing this Caribbean brunch, which we so thoroughly enjoyed, and awards. And would like to acknowledge Mr. Christopher Laird, who has joined us from the Trinidad and Tobago Film Company, having flown in for this singular event, along with his son, Kaz. Today we award a truly remarkable individual and ambassador for Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Ian Harnarine, for his outstanding achievement in the writing and directing of the film Doubles with Slight Pepper. This award launches our plans to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the independence of Trinidad and Tobago, as we from the Consulate and the High Commission of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago honor the achievements of our distinguished nationals. Our first official recognition of the film industry as we embark our golden anniversary is a celebration, and indeed this is a landmark occasion. Mr. Harnarine is clearly a multinational individual. He has, as heard before, an educational background in physics and astronomy and nuclear science. However, it is truly apparent that his passion for his film, a passion that is clearly reflected in his material and work. In the film Doubles with Slight Pepper, Mr. Harnarine explores the themes of love and family relationships, and does so with such finesse that it has earned him an award at the 2011 Toronto International Film Festival for Canadian short film. It is also noteworthy to mention that he has been nominated, as mentioned before, for Best Live Action Short Drama at the Jenny Awards 2012 in Canada. For that, he deserves a round of applause. I applaud you, Ian, for making the leap from the study of the physical sciences to your expressions in film. Your success is an example to aspiring writers and directors in an industry that is growing in Trinidad and Tobago. The government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is committed to developing this industry and provides various incentives, such as the Production Expenditure Rebate Program, which seeks to attract international film producers to Trinidad and Tobago by providing cash rebates of 12.5%, 15%, or 30% for expenditures accrued while filming in Trinidad and Tobago. And the Revolving Investment Arrangement, RIA program, which has been established to provide financial assistance of up to 70% for entertainment practitioners with major projects related to the entertainment industry. As we have all seen in Ian's brilliant film, Trinidad and Tobago has many advantages for which the film industry may invest. We are a very creative and dynamic people. Our scenic landscapes provide the backdrop to vivid imagery that can inspire and express the artistic vision of the film writers, actors, producers, and directors that choose Trinidad and Tobago as their location. In fact, as of January 2010, Trinidad and Tobago's film industry consisted of approximately 20 production companies, 57 companies offering production support services, and 11 television stations. Altogether, the production companies employ a core staff of approximately 200 full-time employees, while the television stations employ over 1,500 persons. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian's success and the success of his film is nothing short of outstanding. This is why I am extremely proud to present him with this award of honor on behalf of the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago for his achievements. I do look forward to seeing more from him, as I'm sure we all are. Before I conclude, let me extend warm greetings to everyone and special congratulations to Mr. Ian Harnarine from His Excellency Mr. Philip Baksu, High Commissioner for the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, on this special occasion. His Excellency would certainly have been here had it not been for an urgent call to depart to Trinidad. I thank you all for sharing in this presentation and award, and invite you to visit Trinidad and Tobago, where I am sure you will be able to experience the namesake of Ian's film, a real doubles with slight pepper. Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Film Company to be here today to join with Caribbean Tales and with the Consulate General and High Commissioner of Trinidad and Tobago and TIFF to honor the success of Ian Harnarine's Doubles with Slight. Well, I call it Doubles with Slight, but it's Doubles with Slight Pepper. But we have to be aware that we can't treat Doubles with Slight. The success of Doubles with Slight is significant on about 3 different levels. Francis Ann and Caribbean Tales have carried the heavy load of establishing Caribbean film as a brand that is recognized internationally. And the success of a film like this just adds and makes it a little easier for her work and for the work of us all to continue that work. And not only that, it makes a statement that Caribbean film is here. And the Trinidad and Tobago Film Company, which gives grants to like hundreds of projects in Trinidad and Tobago through its production assistance and script development fund. This fund also was able to assist Ian in completing the post-production of this film. When the success of this film is made so international and becomes so accepted outside of Trinidad and Tobago, it sort of puts a finger in the eye of those critics and skeptics that keep questioning why the state should continue to fund film. And not only that, I think the other big significance of this film is the strength of its screenplay. Because Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean as a whole has thousands of stories to tell. And because of our history and our ethnic makeup, most of these stories are innately, potentially universal. But when you have a strong screenplay, because in the nascent film industry, the screenplay writing tends to be very weak, and it takes a long time to develop the skills and the knowledge of how to write good screenplays. And this film, I think, distinguishes itself in that direction. And it is going to be an example for most of the young filmmakers in the Caribbean that they're gathering. There's so many, thousands of them now, just dying to make films and trying to make films and coming out of the film programs and training institutions in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. So congratulations again to Ian, and I'm looking forward to more films, and I'm looking forward to also your help in helping the younger filmmakers develop or get experience from your experience and skills. Thank you very much, and we can join the High Commission and Consulate General to...
Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much to the Council General, the High Commission, and of course Christopher Laird, the Trinidad Film Company. Of course, amazing thanks to Cameron Bailey and TIFF for treating me so well, and being back in this building brings back just amazing memories of past September. Francis Ann Solomon and Caribbean Tales have been instrumental towards this film and ultimately this award. It was back in 2010 that I was part of the incubator and workshops and everything, where I really came to know people in the industry in the Caribbean through a bunch of, I met people that became a producer on the film, that introduced me to actors that were, in the film. And truly, without Caribbean Tales' support of the film, it just wouldn't have happened. So thank you so much for all of that help. I've got to thank the Trinidad and Tobago Film Company for really supporting the film in post-production to making it look and sound as good as it does, so thank you for that. This film was very much a personal journey for me, and after it, during it and after it, I really learned to love myself and to love where I've come from. And because of that, it's an incredible honor to get this award from the country of my heritage, and it's something that I will always cherish, for this means something to me. Trinidad and Tobago is an amazing, incredible country filled with beautiful people, beautiful food and culture, and I am so proud to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Our second award recipient today is Mr. Denham Jolly. Denham Jolly was born in Negril, Jamaica in 1935. His father was a landowner and entrepreneur who taught his 5 children independence, self-reliance, and hard work. Ahead of the Caribbean migration invasion, he attended McGill University in 1955, along with other brilliant Caribbean scholars like Justice Romaine Pitt and author Austin Clarke, who were at the University of Toronto. Graduating with a degree in science, he went on to earn an Ontario High School teaching certificate, and for 7 years taught chemistry and physics at the prestigious Forest Hill Collegiate in the heart of Toronto's upper-class Jewish enclave. In his book, How the Blacks Created Canada, broadcaster and writer Phil Fraser recounts that Jolly, an entrepreneur at heart, recalling his father's advice, decided to solve his own need for housing by buying a property and renting out rooms to students. Before long, he owned properties around the GTA and beyond, including a Days Inn hotel in West Toronto, a nursing home in Texas, 2 medical laboratories, and the Tyndall Nursing Home in Mississauga, which he still owns. Unknown to the wider world, his quiet philanthropy supported individuals, organizations, and entrepreneurs and changed many lives. An important achievement was the creation of the Black Business and Professional Association. In 1982, he convened a meeting at the Underground Railroad restaurant of 25 people who represented the who's who of prominent black leaders. He was acclaimed the BBPA's first president, and one of the first acts was overseeing the establishment of the Harry Jerome Awards to recognize Black Canadian achievement. 30 years later, the event remains a glittering gala regularly attended by prime ministers, premiers, mayors, and other dignitaries. Jolly believed the Black community needed a voice in the media to communicate and express its concerns, report on events, and celebrate its culture, needs that were being ignored by mainstream media. In 1982, he bought Contrast newspaper and was its publisher and financial backer for 4 years. Then he began a 15-year campaign to get Canada's first black radio station to the air. Denham Jolly's first application for an urban music radio license, opposed by the broadcasting community and rebuffed by the CRTC, was passed over in favor of a country music station in 1990. Jolly explains, apart from the frustration, there was money involved. The application cost $500,000. A second attempt in 1997 was thwarted when the CRTC gave the 99.1 FM frequency to the CBC. As Phil Fraser writes, many observers considered the decision to have racist undertones. Toronto did not have an urban music station. The CBC simply wanted an FM frequency for its Radio 1 service already available on AM. Jolly's third attempt in 2001 was successful after he got buy-in from a mainstream broadcaster, and Flow 93.5 went on the air in April 2001. In 2004, Jolly's Milestone Radio, in partnership with Chum, applied for and received a license to broadcast a similar channel, The Bounce, in Edmonton. Through his media operations, Denham Jolly has changed the landscape of Canadian broadcasting. Now we have a trailer tribute for Mr. Denham Jolly.
Jolly is an unbelievable guy in a lot of respects, you know. He is a very generous fellow, a very kind person. The record wouldn't show that he has helped a lot of people financially. The community owes him more than is generally recognized, you know. We were able to nurture the urban artists in the city, because through Canadian talent development, we were mandated to spend a certain amount of money. In our case, it was almost $4 million to develop Canadian talent. As I say, the big thing about Jolly is that he was prepared to put himself on the line and risk what he had. And that's very, very unusual in any community. You have to stand up if you don't agree with it, you know. I appreciate the fact it's risky for some people. But the voices of the underdogs have to be heard. Once Denny left teaching, it was no longer, there was no longer any security, you know. He was an entrepreneur. And, that's a different cup of tea altogether. And being an entrepreneur in a society like this, where you have no real support, is a hell of a thing. Started to pursue a radio station, and that was a long, arduous, relentless pursuit over 12, 13 years. There were about 10 or 12 applicants. We weren't successful in the end. There was a lot of bias, a lot of interference, I think, because at that time, there were about 25 commissioners on the Canadian Radio and Television Commission. None of the 5 people who were at the hearing physically voted for the winner. And in fact, it was the first time the chairperson of the commission ever wrote a dissenting opinion. It was Keith Spicer, and he said that we should have gotten it. And in fact, not only should we have gotten it, but Toronto and our community deserved a radio station of that type 10 years earlier. At that time, there were not a lot of, probably 2 or 3 black people in radio in all of Canada. We developed a lot of talent here. Most of the Canadian talent that's now Drake, people like Drake went through there, Keisha Shante, Cardinal Official, Chaos, a whole bunch of them went through that, you know, might have found it difficult without an urban station. Because up until then, most stations did not play urban music.
Now, I know it's hard to believe now that everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, but at that time, in fact, there were some stations that was their mission statement, no black music. Hang on to your dreams. They're achievable if you work at it. It's amazing how lucky you get when you work hard.
Here to share a few words and reflections on Denham Jolly is a media pioneer in his own right. Please welcome Farley Flex.
Distinguished guests, and all due protocol acknowledged. Denham Jolly, in stark contrast to the negative imagery of black men that's been propagated across this globe, Denham Jolly has achieved milestone after milestone and done it with a flow of execution, dedication, determination, and prowess that drives me to do everything that I do. Denham's been a surrogate dad, a good friend, a mentor, someone that I laugh with, someone that I think should have done radio, as you heard by his voice. I have one question for Denham as I'm up here. I don't know who the stunt double was operating the tape deck in your office there, because I know you're not technologically inclined. So I don't know who played that role. But I just want to share, the first time I ever saw Denham was on television, on a show called Black World, which some of you may remember. And I beckoned to my mom to come see this man's face. He's got one of the most indelible faces that I've ever seen in my life, and I've been all over the world. And in his face I saw determination. I didn't know who he was, but I saw determination and focus, only to a couple of decades later be able to work with him and for him in a mutually respectful environment where we shared thoughts, ideas, showed up at meetings dressed similarly. It was actually incredible. When we found the Flow building on Young Street, I think then we showed up in the same outfit. I don't know what. It was amazing. We had our sun hats on and our shorts, and he had an umbrella. I didn't have an umbrella, but it was all good. But important to remember, when we use the word urban, urban is a euphemism for black. So please understand that. Urban music, urban radio, urban culture, they're all euphemisms for the word black. Because black in some people's minds was too harsh a term, too segregating a term, too aggressive a term, too militant a term. And you heard Denham say, it's amazing how fortune comes when you work hard. And I've lived by that mantra. I believe that, you know, working with people like Denham and listening to inspirational words on a consistent basis. And you know, we don't talk that often. But I know I cross his mind. I know he certainly crosses mine. And just to give you a sense of who this man is, there was a time at Flow when I walked in the office in the morning and Denham was sweeping the front foyer. The CEO of several businesses was sweeping the front foyer with no gripe, no nothing. Just simply because he understood that it was about family. Keep the household clean. Keep it healthy. And that was an inspiration. I don't know if I ever shared that story with Denham, but that moved me. Because it gave me a sense of who the man actually is. Not who people think he is, people who have their perspectives on flow this, flow that. You know, I listened to the newest radio station in the city, and I hope that when they use the word flow, in their intention not to use the word flow, that they remember why they should use the word flow. Whether it be flow of thought, flow of an MC, flow of the music on the station, we need to recognize those whose shoulders upon which we stand. I stand here on the shoulders of Denham Jolly. Thank you.
Clearly, Farley has been overexposed to much of my poetry with the wordplay that he put into the beginning of his presentation there. The woman I'm going to introduce now to share some remarks is not even a part of Black history. She's a part of Canadian history who needs to be taught in the curriculum. She is responsible for us even celebrating Black History Month in this country. So please welcome the Honorable Jean Augustine.
Merci beaucoup et bonjour. Francis Anne Solomon, Caribbean Tales, and all those creative people with whom you surround yourself or who are surrounded by you. Mr. Cameron Bailey, we're so very proud of the work that you're doing. At TIFF Consul General, we appreciate your presence in our midst. Community assembled today to be part of this tribute and to be supportive of Caribbean Tales. Mr. Denham Jolly and family, I'm really honored to stand here to say a few words, and I'll be very brief. Whenever I'm asked to say a few words or to write a recommendation for someone, I have a sieve through which I do my script. Is that person committed? Is that person credible? Is that person competent? Is that person caring? Is that person a cooperative individual? Is that person part of community? And as I put you through those sieves, all of them beginning with C, Denham, you were coming right to the top. I've known you since the 60s, and I can say that you are consistent. I can say that you are an individual that we all call friend. And those of you who know Denham well know that we call him Denny, and he answers to that because he's our friend. He's an individual when he walks into a room, makes a difference, a bigger-than-life character, a community organizer, a no-nonsense leader, a person who can shake the room up with a few words and at the same time leave everyone thinking about their next move on behalf of others. A caring individual, a contributor, a funder, a donor, a successful businessman, a trustworthy man, a man who stands with friends at times of need and in the good times. The meals around your table, the parties in your backyard, the responses that you made to so many issues in the community. And I can talk about many others, but I won't at this point in time except to say that I've worked closely with you on several issues, many that were mentioned earlier. The responses to shootings in the community of black men by police. The Buddy Evans, if you remember that, was really a big struggle. The start of the BBPA, the number of us, as was mentioned earlier, that were brought to that first really black restaurant serving community food like we've had today. The start of BBPA, the founder, and the start of the Harry Jerome, the efforts that were made in that regard, and the way in which you supported the effort right from your own pocket. Because as many of you know, to get an organization going, one has to have resources to fund certain things. The Contrast newspaper, the trials to obtain the CRTC, and again, your resilience, your stick-to-itiveness, and your commitment that brought us to the point where we were able to say that we had a radio station that played the music that we all wanted to hear and to give opportunities to the young artists in our community. On all of these, I also want to underscore that when I told you that I was going to run for the Parliament of Canada, for the Liberal Party. Even though a lot of the issues concerned you, you stood with me. And I remember many times in the middle of the day when there was very little in my campaign office, there'd be a tray of something that came from Tyndall Nursing Home or from wherever you were to support and to feed the staff that was assisting. And so I remember you fondly, dearly. We know your commitment to the community, and I'm so very pleased that you're getting this award, this acknowledgement in the presence of all of us today. And so congratulations. I'm so very honored to be part of this award and this tribute to you. And this reads, Caribbean Tales Worldwide Distribution honors Denham Jolly for his outstanding contribution to the representation on Black people in Canadian media, 2012.
Thank you very much, Jean, for that wonderful endorsement. Thank you also, Farley, my longtime friend. I remember that day we were driving around. You were driving the Mercedes. We were looking for property. I would be, I'm very proud, actually, to thank Frances Ann for all her efforts. I think she's one of the people who worked very hard to have made this possible. Congratulations, it's been a success. I would also like to thank Cameron Bailey and his efforts, and thank TIFF. In fact, I think it's propitious that I am receiving this award in one of the buildings in which I sat on the board of TIFF while we were planning this building, until the shovels actually went in the ground. And in fact, Cameron reminds me that my name's on a plaque there on the 3rd floor, because I did make a contribution to this building. So I would also like to thank the selection committee for selecting me as a medium pioneer. And thanks also to my entire family for all the sacrifices they have made over the years. And though it might sound like the old cliche, it is indeed a special honor to be singled out for such esteem by one's peers and contemporaries. And I'd also like to congratulate the underachiever, Mr. Ian Harnarine. You should laugh when I say the underachiever. Here's a man who's a physicist, an astronomer, a lecturer. Congratulations, Ian. It is the excellence of this nature, your nature, what you bring to the table, that keeps a community like ours vibrant, diversified, and respected. It is also important that as a people, Black people who have been in Canada since 1601, over 400 years ago, when Matthew de Costa led Samuel Champlain up the St. Lawrence River. Yes, it is important that we present ourselves in all aspects of Canadian society, from janitors to jazz musicians, from surveyors to surgeons, from ball players to bankers. But not the least of these endeavors is media and communication, because it is paramount that we not only tell our own stories, but that we have the facilities to present them to the broader society. Thanks again to the selection committee, and thanks to all of you for giving up sleeping in on Saturday mornings. Thanks again.
Thank you. So once again, put your hands together for Ian Harnarine and Denham Jolly and all who made these awards possible.
All right, at this point, I'm honored to introduce Cameron Bailey to the stage, who will introduce the director of the film as well as the film that we are about to watch. So please welcome Cameron Bailey.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, all of you who came here today for that delicious brunch. And to kick off what for us is a very special month of Black History programming through film, we want you to think of this place as your home. When you walk by King Street, when you're on the streetcar, when you're driving by, whatever it is, think about us, think of what else is going on here, not just during February. If you've seen the entire program, you know that Better Must Come is the beginning of a month of programming that includes the Sugar Hill Gang, who will be here for a film called I Want My Name Back. Some of you, if you're of the right vintage, would know all of the words to Rapper's Delight. Just can't get them out of your head like me. A film called Kinyarwanda from an up-and-coming African filmmaker who's now based in the US named Ulrich Brown. A program of African short films we're showing at the end of the month. A film called Color Me by a Toronto filmmaker, Shireen Barsoom. And we've got a really strong program. We want you to come back for all of that, and also beyond February. But we're very happy to be kicking it off today with Better Must Come. Frances Ann Solomon, as she said, is someone that I've known for many, many years. We go back over 20 years now. I knew her first as a filmmaker, as a broadcaster, and now as a motivating force in the Caribbean film world, someone who is bringing people together. And I'm very glad that she's in that position and that she's using her experience and her background and her determination to do this. We sat down and we decided that this is how we wanted to kick off the Black History Month programming. This is a film that we both believe in. We feel like it's an important new film coming from the region, an important new voice in filmmaking, and a piece of history, not just for Jamaica, but for the entire world, I think, in terms of how political conflicts can play out and devastate communities. We still see this happening. And I think the film you're about to see will show you what that means, how it can play out, and what the resonances can be when politics gets played out in the streets of a city like Kingston, Jamaica. I also want to thank the Honorable Jean Augustine and Mr. Denham Jolly, and of course Ian Harnarine, for their presence today. You're honoring us by being here, so thank you, all of you. Now, Storm is the man behind this film, Better Must Come. This is a name that you should get to know. He's a filmmaker who has a very distinctive eye. He knows what to use the camera for. There are a lot of people who have stories in them, but not everybody has the language to be able to communicate that story visually through film. Storm Saulter is one of those people, and working with his actor Sheldon Sheperd. I think what we have here is the beginning of a very strong career. We're always looking here at TIFF for new filmmakers coming out of the Caribbean. One thing you may not know, 3 of the 9 leaders of this organization of TIFF have roots in the Caribbean. 2 of us are named Bailey from Barbados, and one of us is named Lou from Jamaica. So we're thinking about our background, our shared heritage all the time, and in opportunities like this we could not be prouder. We're very glad that Storm has come all the way from Jamaica to present the film to you this afternoon. Please join me in welcoming Storm Saulter.
Greetings. Oh, it's a nice crowd. Much respect to Frances Ann and Caribbean Tales for having the vision and for staying on top of me to make this happen. And I'll tell you a funny story. You know, I came up here during the TIFF Festival in last September because I was like, man, I have to be up in this place somehow, you know. It has to happen. But I was so curious about it, so I was walking around, I was watching films, and I remember walking around in this building saying, boy, my movie must show in here, you know. Somehow it must reach, you know. And it's a blessing how fast that has kind of happened, and the fact I'm actually standing here about to present it. I feel really blessed Sheldon Sheperd is here. He's the lead actor of the film. And he's a part of a pretty big cast of mostly first-time screen actors. This is, well, all of these characters is pretty much their first film. There's a real movement happening in the Caribbean, in the English-speaking Caribbean in particular. I feel like, for me, it's the most exciting place to be making film in the world, because we're in a position to define something that is not fully defined yet. You know, I feel like we are the ones making the work right now that people will be studying in many, many years. So I won't speak too much. After you see the film, we can have a little Q&A. Much respect, Denham Jolly. I'm a Negro man as well. Much respect, Ian Harnarine. Bless. I'm looking forward to seeing your film as well. Yeah? Enjoy Better Mus Come. We'll have a little Q&A after and whole of vibes, yes?
Gentlemen. We have a little bit of time to talk to these two gentlemen who have come up from Jamaica to present the film to you this afternoon. First of all, thank you for Better Mus Come.
Thank you. One love, one love. We never said it before, but thank you to TIFF and thank you to Cameron for, you know, having your eyes out and accepting this here. You know?
We're glad to have you here. I'll keep it fairly brief, and then I want to open it up to you, but I just want to ask you to talk a little bit about the genesis of this project. It's history that a lot of us know, but this is a tough film to make even today in Jamaica, I would imagine. Some of those political conflicts are still going on.
Well, at first we told people it was a love story set in the 1970s. Because, yeah, it is a love story set in the 1970s, I guess. But, yes, because people were watching, and this was coming up to the election, not this one, the one previous, around the time we were making the film. And, you know, there was a lot of tension in the air. And so we had to be clever about that. And also, at first, this film, you know, a lot of people talk about Green Bay, and as you can see now that you've seen the film, it's not all about Green Bay at all. The events that are the scene that is inspired by events that took place at Green Bay on January 5th, 1978, no one still really knows the full story, you know? So at first I wanted to kind of get into that, but then I realized, who am I to come and tell a story that no one else even knows? So it changed from that and became way more story about the time seen through the eyes of the character of Ricky, played by Sheldon, and just the environment he had to work in, you know, he had to deal with. I was inspired by Taxi Driver, actually, just as a study of a person type of thing, you know. Yes, and then the Joshua Bratto is the executive producer of this film. He's someone I'd known for a while, but developing a relationship with for a while, and I'd written a previous script for, but when I told him the idea for this, he said, yes, this is it, let's go.
And Sheldon, when Storm came to you with this script, were you at all nervous, apprehensive at all?
Well, you have to.
You're going to be the one on screen. He's behind the camera, but you're on
screen. You have to be. It's always when the day when I'm not nervous, I start to worry. You know, you should be nervous. You know, you should. Your emotions should move. You know, the juices, everything should be flowing. You know, you're supposed to be. You know, it's just normal. So. It's a funny story how I got the role of Ricky in Better Mus Come. Originally, I never met Storm. Storm met Shortman, Everaldo Creary, and we were a part of a band called Nomads. We play what you call bongo music, you know. So him knock on my door in the house and say, "Hey, we have an audition." I must say, "I'm not going." You know, and I don't do auditions, I'm sorry. You know, honestly, I'm not going, but I don't have luck with auditions, people. Auditions, you know. So I said, I'm not going, and him said, it's serious. You know, Storm had invited him. So I went there, sitting down by myself, not getting involved too much, and then the producer, Paul Butner, saw me and said, hey, who are you? You know, why are you here? Can you act? You know, give me a whole lot of questions. I said, yeah, man, I'm named Sheldon Shepherd. I'm an actor. and a dog poet, you know. And him say, what? Let me hear one of your poems. I mean, give him a poem, you know. And him say, hey, get a camera on this guy. And then bring a camera, and then excitement start create now. And you know, I did it, and instantly he said, get a vest, get him some costume, get him some wardrobe. And they got me a hat, felt hat, vest, and a gun. And it's the opening scene of the film. You know, we shot that, it made the trailer, and it made the opening scene of the film. The same day when I touched the set, you know. So we have to give thanks for that, you know.
And he wasn't the lead at first. He was just a member of a group of people, and we hadn't cast the lead. But we had started shooting the scene, and after shooting it, you know, we kind of saw that this was how we had to be. You know.
Do you remember the poem that you did on that day for your audition?
This is political. The politician them a move too hypocritical. But they think Jamaica for run democratical. It's like it autocratical. You feel the country would have better if it theocratical. They want to execute the practical and them not theoretical. They want to improve the government and them comment no logical. From your born and get up poverty automatical. That me get for understand become analytical, politically critical. That was the poem.
Hired. Yeah. Let's open it up, because I think some of you may have some comments or some questions for either for Sheldon or for Storm. If you're in the back, please wave your hand so we can see you up on stage. It's a little hard with the lights. Anything at all? Is there somebody? Yes, go ahead in the back.
First of all, Sheldon,
peace.
There's a microphone coming to you.
Yeah, Hugh Anthony here. I'm just wanting to commend Storm and the team for excellent depiction of a dark period in the history of Jamaicans. It's so coincidental that today Dudley Thompson is being buried in Jamaica. And you know, when you think about it, I'm getting a state funeral and the lives of those who died innocently were buried are dead like dogs. But forgiveness came today with this powerful film, Storm, Sheldon, and the crew. Blessed love, and make we just live in unity and one love to Jamaica and the people.
Respect.
Other comments, questions? Yes, right here. There's a microphone right down in the front. Can we get a microphone down here, please?
Why didn't you go with your son in the movie?
Why? I guess a man's got to do what a man's got to do. One, it was in the script. It was in the script, you know. And what do you want to be when you grow up? Young. We'll find out what you want to be for me, please. And I'm not sure. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Photographer.
Sweet. You'll understand, man. You'll understand. You'll understand perfectly. But it's how the character was motivated, you know. When was motivated at the point, you know, because it's a very confused youth, you know. And what happened is tied between loyalties, you know. So him loyal to him brethren them, and him figure more or less that is a greater fight, you know. Him youth, him not really want him want to make a better future for him youth. So him figure more or less, so when him, by staying with his youth, him not probably have it hands-on in the society, because you have to change the greater society, you know. You see me I say? But him never understands it starts with the individual at that point. So if it were I, man, yeah, I would advise a man, say, hey, stay with your youth and try educate your youth and motivate your youth, you know. But coming from Ricky's personality, who he is. He might have done. He's a done, you know. He must go to work.
If I could add to that, because I know this is a question that I've had before, especially from people seeing it in this modern time or in a kind of space. You need to understand that if you're a community leader, right, and you're the Don, and you are the man who people look to for protection of your own community, and the last thing, you cannot leave when you need it. The last thing you can do, so people think, oh, your first allegiance needs to be to your son. If him leave with him son, them going to come for him. You understand? Because you cannot be the leader of a gang or the leader of an area, and when the things get hot, you're going to leave. Get your family out and see and go back in, you know? So it's hard to understand, but in reality, it couldn't go no other way in that time, in that place. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You mentioned Taxi Driver in terms of a film that you might have been thinking about when you were making Better Must Come. Can you talk a little bit more about the influences in terms of the story and the style of the telling? I saw maybe a little bit of Harder They Come in there as well, some Western elements. I mean, what were you thinking when you were thinking about how to make the movie?
Stylistically, City of God was an inspiration. That's one. I like okay, we say Westerns, you know, you can hear in the music there's a kind of a Sergio Leone, Ennio Morricone vibe happening. So I kind of saw when I was thinking about how the parties were, because I didn't want to show, you know, maybe the PNP guy is a bad guy, or is his nemesis, but it doesn't mean it's any different from him. If you know what I mean, it's like you're out in the wild, wild west, is kind of how I see it in some ways. So that added to there. You know, when you ask a question, it all goes, but I mean, City of God definitely sparked a lot in me. And films I look forward to reference. The funny thing about The Harder They Come, of course it's going to get comparisons for many reasons. One, you think the name sounds familiar. I mean, it's called Better Must Come because Better Must Come was the name of the slogan, and that was it's a rhetorical question that we kind of asked to the viewers. You know, 30 years ago, over 30 years ago, we're saying Better Must Come, and here you are at this time. Now, analyze it for yourself. How do you feel? Has better come? Has it not? Also, in The Harder They Come, it ending on a beach, right? I mean, Green Bay is a beach. It is on a beach. So it was really coincidental. But the film we really did pay attention to was Rockers, right? Because Rockers is a... you got Rockers. Yeah. Because Rockers is like a docu-film, so all those characters were playing themselves, so it's like it captured perfectly in that moment of time. It was being shot in 77, 78 in the exact neighborhood, the exact time of this film, what this film is depicting. So the actors had to watch that and study the language, and we watched it for wardrobe, and it was not as much like the directing style as texture and language and movement of the time, you know?
Other questions? Yes, right here.
Yeah, congratulations. It's good to see young people, you know, telling their story and putting it to film as an educational tool for us all. Because there's a lot of people in the room here today that does not know much about what happened at Green Bay. You know, we've never really been able to find what actually took place, but we need to interrogate it. So I'm glad to see you putting it in film. My question is, Jamaica is celebrating 50 years of independence this year, and this took place about 25, 30 years ago. Has much changed in your eyes? And if you had to talk about something positive and celebrate the 50th year anniversary, what would it be?
Okay, there's two questions, right, basically. I think it's evolved. I believe certain things have been more ingrained. I think the relationship between the powers that be and the people suffering on the bottom is very much still very connected, and we can see that with the state of emergency that happened only 2 years ago. And there's the same relationship that would have led to a Green Bay massacre. So that is still happening. But we are waking up, you know. People are waking up, through art especially. And information is really at our fingertips, and I feel like we are hopefully little by little breaking out of the herd mentality, or at least some of us are. I mean, look, there were elections in Jamaica a while ago and people still go crazy and swear by each party, regardless of what doesn't happen in between election time, right? But I think we're all at a moment where consciousness is rising, and people who want to live a certain way and deal with a certain way of being are moving in that direction. So I am happy about where Jamaica. I am not in despair, you know, but I do feel it's about the individual and making the individual feel like they can dictate their own future, which they've taken away and which we're trying to bring back.
This question right here. We get a microphone, please.
I just wanted to say thank you for the film. As a first-generation Canadian, I really just wanted to understand the Rasta element that you brought into the film. I grew up in folk culture thanks to the influences from my mother, so I just really wanted to understand that.
Okay.
The question, just to repeat for those in the back, was about Rasta culture in particular in the film and the film helping her understand that.
Well, how we looked at Rasta in the film, I grew up, you know, was born to two parents, dreadlocks touching the floor, you know, and kind of always, I guess, was always around that kind of element in Rasta culture and growing up. But how I placed Rasta culture in this context was, and even the reason why the Rasta teacher died, there's all a connection here. You know, I felt like the power of Rasta, and there still is a major power of Rasta to help at-risk youth, regardless of the amount of people in dreadlocks that claim to be Rasta, that is just some criminal hiding in locks. There's just a lot of them. But the actual soul of a Rasta should be. It's changed so many people's lives and helped so many people. And I think for his character, he's seeking something more true and more pure, you know? And I'm not saying Rasta is it, but it shows that he had a search for it, you know? And you see the Rasta teacher teaching the youth, and I think the power Rasta had coming out of the 70s with all the music, with the message going across the world, it was so powerful and has had major influence, as we've seen recently in this film, Rasta, which is at the ROM actually, by Danisha Prendergast, Patricia Scarlett, as a producer. But I think that message got kind of hurt, you know? I think a lot of the people preaching Rastafarianism coming out of there proved to be kind of somewhat false or not living the life they were talking about. And that was what I wanted to represent with the dying of the teacher, was the dying of that pure, real Rasta soul, and that was taken, an influence, and that was taken away. And I believe in the early 80s going in, and after that 1980 election and everything that went down, it just, you know, the other side kind of won. You know, so Rasta is still there, and it's still a great help to so many youths in trouble and just people, ways of them living their life. And it's not all positive, but it's an option, and it's a positive option to what they have, you know.
Sheldon, anything you want to add to that?
All right. For everybody who know Rasta and aware Rasta, just picture a Jamaica without Rasta influence, you know, and then see if you like it.
All right, time for one or two more questions. Right here, yes.
Just a very quick question.
Microphone's on its way.
Very quick question. Congratulations, you really touched on so many different points in your film, and it was really beautifully done. The art direction was wonderful. It's excellent. How did you get Roger Guinevere, is it Guinevere?
Guinevere Smith.
Attached to this film? And why did he play a Jamaican?
This is an African-American actor.
Exactly. Great African-American actor, too.
Well, Roger is a Jamaican at heart, right? He's known me since I was a little kid. I mean, he's been coming to Jamaica and knew my parents and kind of knew me before I even wanted to know I was making film, but he was just a guy I saw, and has always been a mentor of mine, and now a collaborator, you know. So I knew him before we were in a position to make this film, and we always wanted to do something. I think I'd got to a point where I'd proven I was worthy, so to speak. And also, you know, so having that relationship, there's not that many actors that kind of resemble the person he's obviously inspired by, which is Michael Manley, which he somewhat does resemble. And I think the seriousness of him being involved upped the game for a lot of the other actors too, you know? It's an independent film, you know. We never had to pick and choose. I mean, if we had to go out and really pay a guy like Roger, there'd be a big chunk of the budget gone, right? So he was a supporter. You're all right, to be honest, you know. So yeah, he's a major supporter of what we do, you know, big time. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Anyone up in the back? You got someone right there? Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Congratulations on your film. One more note on the set with the Rastafarian was that was a very powerful scene because he was protecting a woman. You know, a woman coming from church.
Yes.
So that was a heavy part of the movie, and a lot of respect.
Yeah, because Rasta not really, you know, his life over anything. You know what I mean?
Okay, one more. Yes, in the back, please.
Give thanks. It was a wonderful production.
Thank you.
But the soundtrack. You did the soundtrack? It's all original. I really love the music.
You do?
Yes. So how come you don't release a CD to go with the?
It will happen. It will come.
Okay.
I'll tell you who did the soundtrack. The music was mostly scored. We did have a few songs by. We had a few songs by. Well, let me tell you who the scorers were. Marlon Stewart Gaynor and Wayne Armand of the band Chalice. And then my father, Bertram Saulter, who plays the bamboo flute and the harmonica. All that bamboo flute and harmonica you're hearing there, that's my father actually playing. Yeah, it was very from the earth. I was like, Dad, we need some music over here. Work it out.
We are unfortunately going to have to wrap it up there, but I want to just ask you to please join me in thanking Storm and Sheldon for making the movie, for presenting it to you today. Please remember it, tell your friends about it. One more thing, please. It's playing tomorrow afternoon right here again, 3:45. Thank you very much. Storm, Sheldon.